ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great Prasthanatraya, Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha, from the pages of Poojya Swamiji's, Poojya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's Geetha home study course. We all know the situation and the circumstances that led to this great teaching to flow out of Jagat Guru Shri Parthasarathi, Lord Krishna, in answer to Arjuna's question about what is Shreyas. Tell me what is Shreyas, what is good for me, O Krishna. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam were Arjuna's words that set it all up and was the trigger for Lord Krishna to give out this great teaching. The teaching is always given when asked for. It has to be asked for, not to be given otherwise. Teachers are cautioned not to give out the teaching unless asked for. The student must hunger for the teaching. His attitude must be such that having been tossed about, roasted in the fire of samsara, having been tormented by the travails and tribulations of samsara, he helplessly and choicelessly presents himself humbly in front of his guru, and after respectfully approaching the guru and offering his namaskaras, he asks for the teaching. Otherwise, the teaching will just not work. In fact, Krishna and Arjuna were so close friends, they were bosom friends. Krishna, the Jagat Guru, was always around Arjuna and his family. The teaching could have easily taken place in the years that they spent in the forest, in the calm environs of the forest. Krishna was available day in and day out. with Arjuna. They used to play, they used to sleep together, they used to eat together, crack jokes together, etc., etc. But the situation did not warrant the teaching to be given out by Lord Krishna. It requires a certain configuration of one's personality to present oneself to your guru who was hitherto your friend. Situations and circumstances must lead to such a time frame that brings together the guru and the sishya and is the nimittam or the cause for the teaching to come out. Until such time, even if one were to stand upside down for 100, for 1,000 years, this valuable teaching, this releasing teaching, this moksha prada teaching will never ever come out from the mouth of the guru, who bases the teaching on the teachings of the Shastra, which are the Pramanam. So Arjuna asked for it at the beginning of the second chapter. Krishna began in all earnestness from shloka number 11 of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha. He begins by teaching Arjuna how to discriminate between Atma and Anatma. Mainly how to sieve out Anatma from the Atma, which is clearly borne out in shlokas 14 and 15 of chapter 2. In shloka 14, Krishna clearly says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino nityaha anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. Krishna says it is the nature of Anatma to be impermanent. It is agama payi and therefore anityam. Train your mind, O Arjuna, to bear the pairs of opposites. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shita ushna sukha dukkha daha. There is bound to be sukha and dukkha. There are bound to be the pairs of opposites. There is bound to be shita and ushna, heat and cold, and all other pairs of opposites one can think of. But they are not permanent. Their nature is not permanent. They are agama payis. If they come, they have to go. They cannot stay permanently. And then he says, anityaha. They are all anitya. They are all bracketed as anitya. Tam stitikshasva bharata. The nature of anatma is anityatvam, impermanence. Its nature is to arrive and depart. This one must very categorically understand understand with conviction that anatma is impermanent. It is, let us recall Swami Paramarthananda's OM Act acronym here. Drishyatvam, anatma is observable. Bhautikatvam, anatma is material. Any material that you see, subtle or gross, is anatma. Drishyatvam, bhautikatvam, sagunatvam. If you see a property, it belongs to anatma. Any property that you can discern belongs to anatma. Sagunatvam, sagunatvam. Any change you perceive belongs to anatma. It is the nature of anatma to change. Savikaratvam. And anything that has an arrival date and a departure date is anatma. Anything that has a date of birth and a date of death is anatma. This discrimination, if we can thoroughly establish, if this knowledge we can thoroughly establish, most of the battle is won. We can come out of the mix-up that happens between Atma and Anatma in this one step itself. The rest of it is a cakewalk. Because everything other than Anatma that falls under these 5 categories, Om Act, observable, material, attributed, change, subject to change, and subject to arrival and departure. What is other than this is the Atma. Atma cannot be observed. Atma is non-material, spiritual. Atma does not have any attributes. Diagonally opposite statements. Nirgunaha. Adrishyatvam, abhautikatvam, agunatvam or nirgunatvam. Then Atma is not subject to change. It is permanent. It is nitya. Avikaratvam, nirvikaratvam. And Atma, being nityam, doesn't arrive and depart. Anagama payitvam. 180 degrees apart from the properties of Anatma. This Krishna wants to convey through the 14th shloka, Matra Sparshas tu Kaunteya. Then in the 15th, Krishna says, Yam hi navyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram. Dhiram. He who knows, he who is knowledgeable, he who has discerned Atma and Anatma, he who has a very sharp intellect in which Viveka reigns supreme. Samadukha sukham dhiram saha amritatvaya kalpate. He alone qualifies for amrutatvam. He alone will get moksha. So Krishna lays a lot of emphasis on this development of Viveka Shakti. Having done that, Krishna goes on to teach Arjuna what are the features of the Atma. Having done so, we have reached shloka, the all important shloka number 20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. We will pick up the thread from where we left off in the last capsule, in the upcoming capsule, and take it forward. Hari Om.